Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my late-ass E3 coverage, and this time I'm going to be talking about the EA press conference. The conference that has us all holding our breaths, cupping our testicles, in complete utter shock and revelation at the epiphanies to come. Oh wait, no, it's EA again, so it'll be a bit of mixture of great and tepid, right? Well, yeah. I thought the EA press conference was exactly what I thought it was. It was EA coming out and talking about things I do not care about, at length, ad nauseum. And if you're interested in their IPs, you're going to have a great day here, because there's tons of stuff, there's some big names. But if you've ever bought a game in the last 20 years, you've bought it 20 times before, so you should really stop, do something else, and stop buying this shit! Nah, I'm only kidding, guys. I think the EA press conference was exactly what they always do. They bored us with things no one's interested in, professional gamers playing games no one really wants to watch, which is a complete lie because somebody obviously watches them, but you know what I mean. They showed us professionals from certain sports and certain little gimmicks here and there, and the same people came out and spoke, and then they had this wonderful myriad of games to offer. So I can't really speak of the quality or of how well they did as a press conference, because at this point, like, FIFA is FIFA. I might as well call it FIFA, right, because that's what it is. EA is the same every year. It's always the same. It's nothing that I care about condensed into a nice 2-hour presentation that I'll never get back. And I'm always hoping for a little nugget of something, a little surprise to blossom up underneath the scorched earth of this campaign of proliferation, but we don't get it. I don't get it. But there's always little nuggets of good things in there, like the sweet corn to the proverbial turd. And the first of these was Battlefield 5, which confused me to no end. I don't understand why this is called Battlefield 5 and not Battlefield 2. The only reason I could think that it's not called Battlefield 2 is because Battlefield 2 is really, really popular and had quite a large legacy, right? Because there was multiple different versions of it and it was massive on PC. So I think they wanted to shy away from the confusion there and maybe keep the sanctity of that title. But they sure as shit didn't give a fuck about Battlefield 1, did they? Because they dumped that on the last one, and technically that should have been Battlefield 5, because that was the 5th game, right? But it wasn't, it was 1, so it gave us the impression that they were breaking down the convention and renumbering, right? Like they keep doing these days. Is the next one going to be called Battlefield Nothing? Like, whew, Battlefield, just boom, one stamp. I don't know. So, it's 5, yet it's not modern. So it's World War II this time instead of World War I, and the new thing is that you can now dive through windows, which I can't tell you how many times I needed that in the last game, right? Which is cool. It looks beautiful. It's gonna look beautiful. It's got embellished war stories, which is the campaign stuff it gives you, where you play as all these, you know, eclectic different troops going through different periods of the war and what they did, and there's like an increment of truth there, and then several females that probably weren't there, and then everything else, and then the internet blows up and everybody goes crazy. But it looks cool, and I don't really care about that stuff because I don't play games for realism, and I don't play them for history. I play them for other reasons. So all of that stuff is great. The multiplayer looks fantastic. They're trying to get in there and maybe tweak and iron it out so it's not what it was before. And from what I heard from the Q&A with the gameplay designer for the multiplayer, it seems like they're really trying to make teamwork important and make it feel like a big battle. And all of that is good news because Battlefield looks amazing. It's probably one of the best games I've ever seen moving. It presents a war-torn front that you want to dive into and shoot people with, even if you suck. And that's really, really inviting. So, building off of what they've already established is great. But the thing that killed me was that I was talking to Lummy before this E3 happened, and he'd read somewhere that EA went out and said they weren't going to be doing, or DICE went out and said they weren't going to be doing Battle Royale with Battlefield, because it was this accepted thing that Battlefield's gameplay probably suits the Royale formula better than almost anything else. It truly does. It's got the vehicles, it's got the massive land masses, it's got the distance with the weapons and the ballistics, it's got everything you need for that kind of gameplay. So for them to come out and say we're not doing it, I thought was this wonderful commitment to doing your own thing and being who you are, and this kind of homogenous, we'll do whatever we can to get enough corporate cocks in our mouths that we choke on this seminal funding, and then everyone plays the same repeated nonsensical sequels till the rest of time and we all die bored and unamused. And then on the stage, they came back on whatever that thing that they'd said or wherever that was, which I'm assuming Daddy EA went along and said, you will be having Battle Royale, you dumb bastards, we want to print more money. And thus, they made the announcement that I think a lot of people were looking forward to and a lot of people are happy to hear, which is Battlefield is now going to do Battle Royale. And I could literally faint if I concentrated on just how much I really couldn't care about that. But hey, I'm not the average gamer, and there are millions of dudes who are going to soak it up, because let's face it, people don't play Battle Royale because it's this intricately majestic experience. They play it because it's incredibly popular, and any tard with a hand can win, because it's very luck-based, right? So it gives everybody this illusion of... It's like a lottery ticket, I think. I think that's the best analogy for it. Anybody can buy the bugger, and you might win. And people love that. What if I win? Just what if? The what ifs are too strong, right? And thus Battlefield 5 will probably be very successful. I will be checking it out. Hopefully I'll fall in love with the multiplayer, and I'll keep you updated on that. But then we move back into more megalithic release areas here with Anthem. Anthem is this humongous push of EA to maybe win some goodwill from people. It's been made by BioWare, who of course have gone through a couple of harsh times, a couple of rough periods. The name is not quite the shining badge on the chest that it used to be on the proud breast of everybody. It's kind of like the arse bead that your mother finds in your sock drawer and when she comes to visit and gets a bit inquisitive snooping around. And nobody wants to explain that, right? It's awkward. But unfortunately, it's everywhere. This game is getting pushed so much you think it'd be coming out tomorrow, but it's not. It's still got a ways to come. And I think it is quite possibly the most generically dull, boring thing I've ever watched in the history of my entire life. And if you're new to this channel, that's hyperbole. But I just don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I watched this game with Aiden and Lummy, and both of those guys are sold. And I just kind of sat there being like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. But inwardly, I'm just like, why do my friends not have eyes? Why do my friends have bad taste? But they don't. They just, to them, it seems cool. And I watched the footage that they showed. To me, it just... They've managed to somehow make robots and team play and foreign magical worlds look dull and tedious, and punctuated by bouts of completely ridiculous, farcical commentary between friends that no fucker ever talks like that ever, and it just sounds obnoxious so much so I'm hoping that there's a voice channel that's separate to the audio so I can turn it off. Like, it just... They've made robots slow and boring to look at, and it's just damage numbers everywhere, all the promise of all this rich fiction, and the only thing carrying it with me is the fact that I know BioWare can make great things. And if they make, you know, the Mass Effect of crazy mech looty shooters, then it'll probably be great. But nothing that I see of this product, of this IP, tells me that that's the case. It tells me that it's just going to be like The Division, it's going to be like Destiny, it's going to be like every other generic grab a bunch of garbage, we didn't actually build a game, this is boring and I don't want to play it. And I'm hoping I'm wrong. I just sound like a cynical old man, right? And it's true, there's a lot of that to that, but I've played a lot of games, guys, and this does not impress me. I hope it impresses you, because you're going to be hearing a lot from this. It's a massive push from EA, and it pisses me off because I really like Battlefront 2, which is a game that nobody likes, right? An entire character assassination that game got due to bad marketing and publicity, and it was EA's fault fundamentally, and it sucks because mechanically the game is superb and I like it a lot, but they're not supporting it. And when they do support it, it's been drip-fed to you that if it was, you know, the vitality needed to live, you would have died 7 times over. And to see them put all this money into this generic garbage-looking game, it just pisses me off when they talk about how all the microtransactions will be this and that, and or how all this is going to be very transparent, and I just sit there hoping for complete conflagration. I truly do. I hope for spontaneous human combustion and just a blazing inferno. But that's just because I'm an evil person. And then moving swiftly on, they introduced us to the game we were all waiting for with bated breath, and that, my friends, is of course Madden. And I believe Madden is named after a dude. Isn't he called John Madden? He's like John McClane, only completely fucking uninteresting and associated with a sport that dulls the brain. Literally. So if you like American football, if you like the joyous sport of hand-egg cuddly rugby, then you're probably going to be eating this up and buying it because the grass is shinier than it's ever been, and you can really see the striation on the steroid injection sites and all that other garbage. It's a Madden game. It's going to be great if you like it. I can't even tell you how much I don't want to know anything about these games, and that's why I just completely ignorantly bash them then, because I don't know anything about these games. I've played 2 Madden games, and all it was like a fucking menu. It looked like I was at a Japanese restaurant picking each course of every meal I've ever had in my life. Only instead of food, it was formations and circles and arrows, and all I wanted to do was kick the fucking ball. But alas, there's millions of them, they sell really well, and you've already bought it or pre-ordered it if you like it, so awesome, you've got another one of those. And then there was NFL, which isn't that the same thing? Maybe that was NHL. I've put this down incorrectly. That's National Football League, right? So yeah, that might be incorrect. Isn't Madden NFL? Not faster than light speed? I don't know. NBA was another one that they spoke about, which if you like basketball, you know, once again, it's the Madden thing. They're bringing another one out. You can see each individual blade of sweat and how few white people there are that are good at it. And then there was FIFA, which... FIFA, if you didn't know, is the association that governs the rules, I think. I forget what it's like, the Football Association, something, something, something. And it's the biggest sport in the world, regardless of whether or not you like it. And every year we get a new one, and they do something new with the dribbling and with this and with that, and you're already so deep in it that you don't even notice that everyone else is going, why the fuck do you keep playing these games? Stop playing these games, stop buying these games, maybe they'll make better games. But everybody tells me they're good, right? Everybody that likes FIFA likes the most recent FIFAs. They're really good, they get good grades, they sell well. There's more FIFA coming, you know it was coming, I know it was coming, and here it is in the face, wipe it off, towel away, get on with your life. And then they showed something really weird, which I thought was hilarious, as much as all the sports stuff put me to sleep, which was Command & Conquer Rivals. So, you might not be like me, which is to say, incredibly eclectically tasted and handsome, but Command & Conquer used to be hardcore PC shit. And I'm using shit here creatively to say awesome, because these games were strange. They had crazy full motion video of actual actors and cool people from movies and shit, who were telling you to do missions, and they were your generals and your commanders, and it was all very dramatic, and then you do your little top-downy thing, doing all your resource management, doing your Command & Conquer stuff with your Tesla coils and everything. And these games were really successful, but they were quite difficult to play because they involved a lot of micromanaging, and they were designed behind a mouse and keyboard, I believe. I know nothing about these games, by the way, so I'm not going to go too deep into it because there's no point, I'll just say the wrong thing. But to me, when I think Command & Conquer, I think PC, and I think slightly higher class player base, because they were more the thinking man's game at the time that I was playing them, because I was too busy over here playing as Mario, jumping on Goombas and stuff, and looking like a disabled child, while people were on their PCs being all elegant and majestic and regal with mouses and stuff, and you know, gaming rugs and special socks, and I'm over there jumping like I mentioned. So in my mind, I'll always think of Command & Conquer as kind of this higher echelon of gamer, this more skilled mentality, even though you can play it on a casual level. This is for a mobile phone or a tablet, I think. I can't remember which one it was, but either one made me laugh. I got a big laugh out of this because I don't look at these games as a casual market, right? Maybe that's the mistake I'm making. To me, they're quite a niche and aggressively hardcore market because it is very specific. You don't pick up a Command & Conquer and immediately know what you're doing. You get shit on a million times by Zerg Rushers and things, and then you learn what's going on, even though that's a different game. You know what I mean. Stop being fussy. So for them to put it on a console that doesn't have a mouse, and then to put it on like the most casual console on the planet, I've just got visions of, you know, purist Command & Conquer fans rolling in their graves and just disturbing everything because it just seems like a big slap in the face. But this could be exactly what it needs, right? This could be the best thing in the world because it's mixing it up. I don't know. Maybe it'll be amazing. But you might have noticed so far that I've only really talked about Battlefield 5 because everything else I couldn't give a shit about. And the final thing on my EA conference is the 30 seconds that they spoke to, is it Vince Zampella, the dude who famously got into the lawsuit with his buddy over Call of Duty with Activision. So, that guy who founded Respawn and made a game I absolutely adore, known as the Titanfall series, they are working on a new Star Wars game. They have the Star Wars license and they're working on something. And I have a lot of faith in this developer because every game they've made in my experience has been really fun. Might not have sold the best, but it's been fun. And this is called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And I'm sold. It's a new game, which I like new games. It's a Star Wars game. I like Star Wars. And it's by Respawn. I really like Respawn. So everything about this to me is probably my favourite highlight of the EA conference. But once again, much like on the Bethesda one, they showed nothing. Not a carrot. So I have no idea what this game is. I haven't researched this game because I wanted these opinions to be the same ones I had when I watched this conference a week ago. I didn't want to go looking now where we got tons more information and it completely changes how I feel about all of this stuff. So yeah, the only thing in there that I even cared for was a bit of Battlefield 5 and the promise of a new Star Wars game. But all jokes aside, guys, when it comes to, you know, your football games and your sports games and all that kind of genre, if you like that stuff, this conference is fantastic because it's reinforcing something you already love. And you're getting them every year, which means you have a constant drip feed of entertainment and enjoyment. I don't, because I don't like any of that stuff, so for me I just take the piss out of it. But fundamentally, I think EA did exactly what they do, and it's impossible to be disappointed by them because they always disappoint me, you know? Every single time I watch their conferences, it's like repeatedly punching myself in the face with a wedding ring of a dead wife that I really miss. And I want to see something great from it, but I'm just having flashbacks of when I last kissed her, and I'm still caving in my face. So it's EA. They're an easy target, they're the low-hanging fruit. There's just no point in driving it home. I didn't think it was a good conference, but then again it wasn't for me. I didn't see much that I wanted, but then again I never do. So, more fool on me, right? But I hope you did, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope there's something that you can't wait to play. But if it's FIFA, kill yourself.